Colleagues, I rise today to speak on the motion condemning Russia for its unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. We are all horrified by the images streaming from Ukraine in the hours since this invasion. A country under siege from all directions, all at once, its citizens cowering in subway tunnels, people gathered together with heads bowed in prayer because there seems no other options at this point. As the granddaughter of Ukrainian immigrants who sought refuge in Canada 100 years ago, I feel this invasion deep in my soul. I visited Ukraine in 2014 as an observer for the presidential elections that year. I was struck then by the deep gratitude of the Ukrainian people for their burgeoning democracy and touched by the elderly women from Ukrainian villages who brought fresh flowers from their gardens to the polling station to give thanks for the opportunity to express their democratic right to vote. I am thinking of those elderly women in Ukraine today, honourable senators. Canada cannot abandon Ukraine's citizens to the madman Vladimir Putin. With this motion, we condemn in the strongest possible terms Putin's brutal and entirely unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, and we condemn Putin's flagrant disregard for Russia's obligations under international law. But we must do more than just stand by and condemn the evil acts of the dictator Putin. Canada must act now to stand up for a peaceful and free Ukraine. For years, Ukrainian authorities have been pleading with Canada for defensive arms, but the Trudeau government did not provide them. It only agreed to provide some defensive arms on the eve of the invasion. They were provided so late, I do not know if those will even reach Ukrainian soldiers in the field. And now the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has asked every able Ukrainian citizen to take up arms themselves against Putin's forces. The Trudeau government's delay in virtue signaling is ineffective in the face of such a monumental threat. On February 13th, the Prime Minister tweeted, quote, "We'll keep standing strong in support of Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity," quote. Well, that was the same day that Canadian trainers in Ukraine headed for the Polish border and Canada was evacuating its embassy in Kiev. What have all these words and those uttered by other Western leaders meant for the Ukrainian people? We can see the results of that today, and it breaks my heart. The least we can do now is open our borders to the hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians who are now fleeing their country. The official opposition will support this motion, but I implore our Canadian government, this is not the time for weak words. It is our moral duty to act now to help the people of Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!